Aloha, my name is Randy Umetsu. I work at the Limhuli Garden and Preserve of the National Tropical Botanical Garden, and I'm the horticulture specialist. ʻōhiʻa lehua is one of the most important tree species in Hawaii in terms of our ecosystem, our watershed, and it grows from the ocean all the way up into the mountains. And so we can have a shrub form as well as a much larger tree form that can grow really tall. The ones in the garden are on the younger side. We have some that are as tall as 30 feet. Considerations, it really depends on where you live. If you live in a drier area, you're gonna wanna have some place within your garden that retains a little bit more moisture, and a little bit of shade would help. If you're in a very wet area, you want a place that has well-draining soil so it doesn't get too much moisture. It can handle the moisture, but in general, it likes that happy medium. I would plant it at least 10 to 15 feet away from the house, just in case, so you don't have to do unnecessary pruning. In general, planting, best practice is to plant right to the soil line. So when you dig your hole, the top of line should be match the top of the soil line on your plant. So you don't want to bury your plant too deep, and vice versa, you don't want to have it above that. You want it right in line with your soil. It can tolerate full sun. So if you do have it in a shady area, it's gonna take a lot longer to grow. So it's best to get at least partial sun to full sun. In general, when you first are trying to establish the plant, a light watering every day is pretty good. It'll depend also on the size of your plant. So if you have a little bit of a larger plant, once you water, you can kind of see how it responds. The smaller it is, the quicker that water is just gonna disappear from the root zone. And once you get it established, it can go to every 3 days. And when it's a very large tree, you'll probably only have to water it as there's like drought conditions, or most of the ʻōhiʻa within the garden, we don't water it anymore just because there's enough rainfall. So that's another factor to consider, is where you live and how much rainfall you get. Only a select few species of natives respond really well to pruning. ʻōhiʻa does okay when you prune, but it's one of those, you don't want to prune unless you kind of have to for either a hazard reason or possible disease-related reasons. And for diseases, rapid ʻōhiʻa death is a concern, but that's not the only fungal pathogen that we have. So it's very important when you do prune to use bypass pruners. They're the pruners that the shears overlap ever so slightly versus an anvil that chops. So when you prune, you want something that is bypass. So there's a lot of loppers that are bypass pruners or hand pruners. As that is one of the key things, as well as sterilizing your tools. So using at least 70% isopropyl alcohol or an equivalent to sterilize your tools between trees and between plants. And it's a general best practice